universities anymore.
Yeah, but
do it
Caleb,
online.
you talk like any of these academics have had an original thought in their life.
Okay, fair point.
That's the problem. Academia is not what it used to be. The levels of research fraud, of plagiarism, just of poor quality research are honestly staggering. I don't think we're going to be missing much. If anything, I think research will probably improve when ChatGPT is doing it. But I do worry about the generation of young people growing up relying on ChatGPT. Now, one of the ways you could counteract that is by forcing them in person to engage in the Socratic method, actually have discussions with your peers, with your tutors, interrogate ideas. But that's not happening. And there's this article that we saw today coming out saying this may be the death of in-person lectures. I certainly saw it when I was at USYD. Participation rates at in-person classes is through the floor. People aren't even going in person anymore. And then students will, on the one hand, complain about poor university experience, and then on the other hand, never show up to uni at all. You can't have it both ways.
Well, I guess that it's kind of the uni's fault when firstly, COVID was a big factor there when all of a sudden people couldn't go to class. But there are courses, and I hear these stories all the time about people that have 7 or 8 hours of actual learning a week, and the rest of it is up to you to be learning as you go. So, you know, there's not a lot of encouragement and a lot of sort of motivation to be actually going all of the time. I guess for UNSW, they want to be training ChatGPT to be thinking in their very closed university space as well. So, you know, who knows? But it's certainly an interesting development.
And I feel so sorry for the kids these days. Like, you know, the point of uni, and I didn't go, I did a cadetship. I learnt journalism on the job, which I think is a far better way of doing it, to be honest. But the point of uni is not actually going to study. It's to meet people and get on the piss. And now they're taking the fun part of it away.
The traffic light parties and all that.
Yeah, you know, so you've got to do the study, and then you don't get to blow off the steam at the end of the week because you don't meet people and you don't form those connections that then go on to be contacts that you use later in your professional life and lifelong mates and all this sort of stuff. You know, we're just living in silos now. No wonder we have a loneliness epidemic, and we're just building a world that makes us more and more disconnected and lonely, and I think it's really sad.
And school's definitely not for everyone, and a lot of the style of learning that's now been adopted, the pedagogy, it really does favour girls, and it says sit down, listen for hours and hours and hours on end every day, and a lot of boys are feeling really disaffected by that. An SAS veteran, Anthony Moffat, has a really novel idea, though, for how we can combat this. He says that anyone who drops out of school after year 10 should have the option of doing a form of national service. Now, the ADF already runs a gap year program for people after year 12, but he's saying let's bring that younger. And I personally think this is great. I think we should be having a conversation about national service across the board. But, you know, another way to hopefully re-engage disaffected boys, which can't be a bad thing.
Well, if they want to do it, why not?
Exactly.
You know, just give them something to do.
Exactly. Well, people who are not doing anything of productive value to society are the councillors on the northern beaches. Not all of them. There are some good ones up there. But there are a couple who are spending an awful lot of ratepayer money swanning around the country doing various programs for this and that and whatever. We have no idea.